Hey everybody, welcome back to Tatum Farms. Appreciate y'all watching another video. So today, guess what I'm doing? Well, just a little bit this morning. I'm gonna kill a few chickens. They are past due on killing, so I'm gonna try to get a few of them killed this morning. And before it gets hot, it's just me here today, so I may only do just a couple of them. Do a couple of them each day, and that way I can get them all in the freezer. If I need to get them in the freezer, save on some feed, and that way I can have that pen back and that shed they're staying in, get it back for some other animals. So let's get this morning started. Let's get a few chickens caught and get them hung up and turn their heads off so they can sleep now. Got them hung up, got their heads cut off. I'm gonna let them bleed out just for a little bit. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna walk around here and grab the water hose. That way we can keep everything hosed off and keep everything clean. I had the water hose hooked up last night, watering the garden. So let's get it unhooked. Well, I gotta get my ice chest. There it is right there. I'm gonna get it washed out and ready for meat to be put in it. What we end up doing is I'll throw it in here, fill it with water, throw it in here, and I'll throw some salt in there with it and let it set for a little bit. Probably my wife this evening will get it and cut it up. But we'll throw that water and salt and ice on it, and it'll help draw out the rest of the blood in the meat. So this is my job to do. Usually she cuts up the meat. I'll cut their heads off, let them bleed out, skin them, and she cuts up the meat. But since she's at work today, I'm gonna try to attempt to do it all, and all she has to do is finish quartering everything up and putting it in the freezer. So try to make it easy on her, but we'll see how it goes. We got 2 birds butchered, so I'm gonna try just to do a few every day. That way it ain't so bad to do with just one person. So I bet y'all was wondering what we're doing next. And our next project is right here, and a lot of weeds. There's some tomato plants in there. So what I need to do now on here is pull all these tomato cages up, because we reuse them, and get them stored away. And I'm gonna turn them, I'm gonna put some panels up. Them lazy pigs over there are gonna go in there. I'm gonna let them root around, and there's still some green tomatoes in there, and the plants, they'll love eating all that. So let's do that. But before we do that, I better feed the chickens. They're being kind of quiet right now. I think they think they're next. But them over there, we're not eating them. Them over there are laying chickens. So the white ones are the only ones we're butchering. They're meat bird. They grow fast. That's all they're good for. I'm past due on butchering them, but you know, life gets in the way sometimes of what we have in plan. So let me shut up so I can get these chickens fed. Make sure they got water, then we'll start over here and working on this before it gets too hot today. all the chickens we got right now were bought in the springtime as chicks. So they're just now starting to lay. We're getting 1 or 2 eggs a day. So I'll be glad when they're laying all the time, but they got to start somewhere. So it's better than nothing. Well, let's start on fencing off the tomato garden. But before we get the fence put up, we gotta go take it down. So I'm gonna steal some of these hog panels where I used to have the pigs. So let's go over there and get them taken down so we can drag them over here to put them back up again. Well, we got all them panels taken down. Just see how that one panel had that piece of sheet metal wired to it. My wife was the one that did that, and I'm proud of her for doing it, because she came home one day and seen the goats. They didn't have no shade in there, so she was able to wire that up. That way they'd get shade in the evening when it got warm. And if anybody knows my wife, she wasn't raised around this kind of stuff. She was raised around a horse, and they didn't use really the horse for work, and they did a little bit, but it was mainly for pleasure. And so this kind of stuff around here is really new to her, since, I mean, we've been married a little over 9 years. So ever since then, I mean, the livestock I've brought in and stuff, she's really done good around it. Most women would have been like, I ain't moving out there. We're in the middle of nowhere, taking care of plants, taking care of animals, and being away from the city life and in town and being close to everything. But I'm really blessed to have her. I know I never give her enough credit on what she does, but she's actually what keeps this thing running around here, because with my work schedule and being gone all the time, I mean, right now I've been home more the past few weeks, but usually I'm gone more than I'm home. So a lot of times at evening she has to feed or water the garden or stuff like that. So I'm very, very blessed to have her. So we got all them panels down, and we need to drag them over here. Before we do that, we need to take all these tomato cages down, because we reuse them and I don't want pigs tearing them up. So let's get all them pulled out. Alright, did y'all see me pull the tomato cages up and the stakes? I had to leave 2, I couldn't get them out. But y'all see me pulling these cups up? Alright, I'm going to show y'all what not to do. Don't use these. I've used these for years and years, and they've always seemed to work. And the reason I use them is when we put out our tomato plants, it's usually windy here in Oklahoma, and especially during storm season, and we'll have them, I've had several of them break before, so using the cups seem to help it. Well, this year I put them in the ground a little bit, threw some dirt around them, and I think that's why my tomato plants didn't grow very well. Actually, I know that's why they didn't grow very well, because after pulling them up, there's some grass in here too. See that root ball? I don't know if you can see all them roots around it. See how many's going in the ground? That was my problem. what ended up happening is it couldn't get a good root system. So if you restrict the roots, them plants ain't gonna grow very good. And I think that's why mine didn't grow very good. One reason they didn't grow very good, the main reason they didn't grow very good. So next year I've actually already learned a different way on how we're gonna do them. And I think it'll actually work a lot better. And I was shown this way that we're gonna do them next year before I knew why we was having problems this year. And so next year I think my tomato plants are really going to take off. So don't do it this way. Don't screw up like I did. Learn from my mistakes. That way you get a good harvest. So we still did get tomatoes this year, but it wasn't good. Wasn't as good as what it should have been. So I think that was one of the reasons that we didn't, was because the roots were restricted on growing, so they'd only grow so big and quit. So I just wanted to show y'all that way y'all don't screw up like I do. So let's get everything picked up around here, and then we can start putting panels up. Got all the tomato cages moved. I really don't have a place to put them right now. I hate to put them out by the shop or in the pasture, just because if I do that, I know what'll happen. The horses will end up, or the donkeys will end up stepping on them, messing them all up. So I just left them in the yard, put them by the well house. Out of the way for now. I've got a couple of cages that's no good, so I'm just gonna chunk them. Just cheap tomato cages, all they are. No. Let's go get them panels, get them drug over here, dry a few T-posts, and try to get these panels up, get these pigs turned in. I'm gonna go get them T-posts. I'm just gonna drive a few. These pigs, they're pretty gentle, so they ain't gonna try to push out of anything. So I'm just gonna drive a few T-posts. I got my gate gonna be right in there, so that way I can just turn them out from their pen and try to get them right over in there. So they'll be in here for, I don't know, a few days, week, 2 weeks. We'll see how it goes. And once I get through with them there, I'm gonna move the chickens over and let them scratch around what's left of it. Then I'm gonna start moving the chickens around in the pasture. So, but right now, let's get these panels up. It's hot here in Oklahoma, so I'm dragging. So let's get them up. If y'all don't have a T-post puller, never used one, it is well worth the money. Yeah, I built fence probably 10 years before I bought one, and I think I paid, it was less than 30 bucks what I paid for it. And my thought was, well crap, if it costs that much or that little, it ain't gonna be worth the crap. 30 bucks a pull T-post, I mean. I just thought it was gonna be just a cheap tool. Just one of them deals where they sell it to you just to get your money, and you don't ever use it because it's a piece of junk. But, got it right there. I ended up buying this one. It's hot. I ended up buying it, and shoot, if they'd sell one for $200, I'd still buy one today. Man, they are well worth the money. They work great. I can't believe I went that long without even having one. Being in the fence business, you think I would have one. So if you don't have one, go get one. I'm gonna show you how it works. that simple. Make sure you go buy you one of these. They're well worth the money. You ain't gonna regret it. Well, them T-posts are a little harder to drive than what I thought they would be. I don't know why I thought they'd be easy. We ain't had no rain in a while and the ground's hard. So, with that being said, I'm gonna show y'all an easy way to drive these T-posts. They're super easy, even in hard dirt like this. I'll show you here in a second. This driver right here makes life so much easier. It had taken me an hour or so to drive these posts. If this thing struggles a little bit, you know it's solid ground. I mean, it weighs a little bit, probably 50 pounds, 60 pounds, but it's still a lot better than driving by hand. All we got left to do now is just put the panels up. The hard work's already over with, so let's get these panels up real quick. So we got the pin up. There's two things about this pin. One, it is ugly as can be. Right in the back door. Sucker's ugly. Number two, it will work. And you know, this is only gonna be up here for just a little bit. It's just to get everything eaten up and root around, get everything mixed around. So it's not, this ain't permanent. That's why it's ugly as can be. It's something simple, fast, easy. So that's why I did it, and that way we want to try to do our garden a lot better next year. So we're going to try to get all this mixed in, just let the pigs do it. I mean, that's their jobs to root around and turn the dirt. So we're just going to let them do it. Save me the hassle of doing it, and let them fertilize it too. And then later we'll move the chickens over here. Then we'll move them right out that fence there, back around over there is where they're going to be moved to. So. But right now, let's get these pigs moved. I bet they'll be happy to get in there. and eat them tomatoes up. So we got them moved. That wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad building a pen, other than this Oklahoma heat. But I did say you get used to it, but you really don't. So I think they're happy. They've eaten them tomatoes that's still in there. So I appreciate y'all watching. I got a lot more to do today. Still got this evening got to water the garden and everything. I gotta get these pigs some water too. So I know y'all's tired probably watching me, so I'm gonna let y'all go. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you click the bell, that way you get notifications. Still trying to get my wife to do some more videos, because it seems like y'all like her more than me, but that's all right. So trying to get her to do some more. And let's see what else I got to tell you. We're still doing a video every other day. Make sure you share our videos. You can share it to Facebook. Tell everybody about us, so because you're not wanting to miss it. Like today, showed you what not to do on tomatoes. I'm never doing that again. So unless you want little tomatoes and not a very good yield on them, put a cup around them. So make sure you subscribe, and I will catch y'all on the next video, and God bless.